Hello, my name is Ariel Ryan, and this is Breaking Bread and Breaking Barriers, a safe space for people to come together from diverse backgrounds, share experiences, learn about each other, and really celebrate our differences. Our first guest is Mr. Terry Taft, who is a Capuchin Franciscan who has spent most of the last 40 years working for homeless children. He reports that there is legitimate marketing info indicating that there is a functional family for every one of the million homeless children in the United States. Welcome.
Thank you, Ariel.
Our next guest is Mr. Chris Hamilton, who is an American stand-up comedian and writer based in New York City. First pursuing a career in television productions for CBS This Morning with Gayle King and Charlie Rose, Hamilton quickly shifted gears and pursued a life of stand-up comedy. Welcome.
Yeah. Hi.
We also have Mr. Gary Sue, aka the Sugary Man, who has played a crucial part in the evolution of careers for several extraordinary artists. Most notably, Gary has played a key role in the development of international recording artist and bandleader Jon Batiste for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Other notable artists include Grace Weber, Tish, Z Avi, Victoria Canal, and most recently, Running Lights. Welcome, Mr. Gary Sue. Welcome, Chris. Welcome, Terry. And welcome to, once again, Breaking Bread and Breaking Barriers. Okay, gentlemen, so here's how it works. I'm going to propose a question to one of you, each of you, and then you're going to answer it. And of course, once you've answered it, you can propose the same question to any guest that you would like. So, you ready?
Hell yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
Absolutely.
First, we have Mr. Hamilton. If you had 5 more years left to live, what would you change about your life?
I think I'd be more active. I think I'm more socially active now, just in I don't want to say protesting in itself, but just understanding what's happening in our government and what's going on. I think if I knew I had 5 years left, I'd push that faster. I'd go, oh, how can I possibly make a difference or, some significant change in our climate faster than I'm trying to now. Because I assume, because I am younger, I'm like, oh no, I have time. But 5 years, I'm like, oh no, I don't have that much time. I would have to go faster than Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Who would you pass it on to?
Let's try
Terry
Gary.
or Gary?
Let's try Gary.
If I only had 5 years left, I just think that I would be a lot more active and feed my curiosity as much as I could. I always have a saying that if, as you get older, there's one thing that's certain and one thing that's likely. One thing that's certain is that there was not enough time to do everything you wanted to do. And there's also one thing that's likely for most people is that you never spent enough effort to actually pursue the things you wanted to do. So I would, if I knew that I only had 5 years to live, I would make sure that I amended that very quick and accelerate kind of exploring and pushing my boundaries because it's on a limited and accelerated time frame. So that's definitely what I would do.
So Gary, what do you think is the ideal age and why?
I mean, I think it's an often asked question, but I actually think that really whatever age you find yourself is actually the perfect age, as long as you spend the time to actually savor your surroundings. People get nostalgic. A lot of people talk about, I wish I was here during this time, or I wonder what the future would be like. And they don't focus enough on being present. There is enough beauty and wonder and things to appreciate at every given moment of your life. And it will also reflect depending on the age you are. So as long as you are actually open to these moments, I think you're gonna find that your life is much more robust and you will stop wondering about things and ideas and time periods that you will never know personally and actually engage in the things that you can see, touch, feel, and know now.
Interesting. Okay. So you don't have an ideal age?
No, I mean, I think the ideal age is this age. Whatever your age is, every year, make it your own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can pass it on to any one of us, including myself at the table.
Yeah.
But who would you pass it on to?
I mean, the guy with the hat, Chris.
Mr. Obama for president, Mr. Chris, what do you think is the ideal age and why?
I mean, it depends what the purpose is. I feel like this is a very R. Kelly question. It's a very...
Don't mention him.
I know. At the same, but we cannot talk about it.
He can't talk about age at all.
I don't know. I think it depends.
Not the lower numbers.
Yeah, check the lower numbers. Yeah, I won't say anything lower than 13. I think it depends. It depends what you're going for. I don't think there is a perfect age. I think you did cover it a little bit.
Age.
I don't even think there's an ideal age. I think we're in media, so you know a lot of people, and I hate to say this because I'm pulling the curtains from the viewers, but a lot of people lie about their ages. You know what I mean? You don't really know how old Zac Efron is, but we just assume. And yeah, there is the date that we know that we go by, but that we don't know if that's really his age. I would say, just like you said, it's the moment. It's definitely more the moment, the time, the present. If you feel like you are ready to do whatever, or you're willing to accomplish something, or that is the age. You're at that age already to do something different, or at least try to achieve something. Yeah, I would say there is no ideal age. You're not too young. You're never too old. You just do it. That's as long as you're capable of making that decision to do something. Then that's the ideal age.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back at Chris again. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. If you could only have one, would you want a chef, housekeeper, or a personal assistant?
I'll take chef. A chef.
Chef?
I would like a chef. Yeah.
Why?
Because you don't often get good food. This is amazing. Someone cooked this. So I would take someone that can cook for me. You know what I mean?
You could just sit back and relax.
Just sit back, relax. I worry about planning and organizing, and they just cook for me.
Oh, that's amazing. So you get to, luckily, as you know, pass it on to another guest to answer the same question. Who would it be?
Oh, Big T over here.
Okay, Terry.
All right.
So if you could only have one, would you want a chef, housekeeper, or personal assistant?
Yes, that's an easy question for me to answer. The personal assistant, without a doubt, in my mind. For one thing, I live in a monastery, and there is a cook. We have somebody help us out, and but the personal assistant, I would need a personal assistant for a project that I have, educating the public about homeless kids. And the personal assistant would be just heaven, absolute heaven, and we could help a lot more kids than we are. So,
circling back to Terry, would you rather be a great musician, great actor, or great athlete, and why?
I'd rather be a great musician over those other two because I am a musician now. I'm not a great musician. I'm not even a good one, but I really enjoy it. And I'd like to be much better than I am. It just tickles my fancy, you know?
Well, that's great that you have a passion.
Yeah.
So who would you pass it on to? Dum-dum. Who's next?
Ariel?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay, let me ask myself. I don't know if I'd pick one or the other because I feel like I'm a great musician and a great actor. Can't pick one. But no, honestly, I guess I would say great actor because I love to tell stories. You get to tell a message and people get to react to it and they come to see you and they live through you as well. So if I had to choose that, I would be a great actor. So Gary, circling back with you, which event in the past, present, or future would you like to witness in person?
So as far as an event that I would like to witness, I think I would go to the past, but not even the distant past. I actually would point right at my man Chris's hat right there. I would say Chicago 2008.
Nice.
To witness the election of the first Black president. It's more than just that he was the first Black president. It was what it meant to an entire nation that really had been scarred by racial divide, and how it was able to bring unity to people that the country really had not felt, could not even fathom in terms of possibility, and yet all of a sudden it was just here. And to be there for that moment, to be there in the history of it, the agency of it, the importance of it, I think it has not just national ramifications, it has global ramifications and truly sets the tone for where I feel the nation should have headed and continue to head in. So
Nice.
yeah.
That was really, I don't even know where to go after this, but of course you would pass it on to the next guest. So who is lucky?
Well, I think I would absolutely pass it on to Terry.
Okay, Terry. Which event in the past, present, or future would you like to witness in person?
Well, and not to be too serious about it, I would say probably something about Jesus. Probably the trial that they had at the end of his ministry. I would love to hear what he had to say without the interpretation of 2,000 years of people's stuff. Just put it that way. And I'd have to learn Aramaic or Hebrew, so it's going to have to be good that it's a long time ago or a long time from now, or whatever the anachronism would be. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. Let's assume you just know the language.
It would be great to be a fly on the wall for like something.
Oh my gosh, something like that? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because only you would know.
Yeah.
Moving on to Terry. What life change would you most like to make for your health?
Well, that's another hard question that I haven't really given a lot of thought to because I'm not good at making changes in my life. I would say switch jobs would be the best thing I could do for my health, mental health, and physical health. I'm a social worker, and I'll stay a social worker. But the mission for kids, the public education mission, if I could work in that would feed everything. I'm already exercising fairly well, and my diet is decent, but the work thing is the big thing for me. So,
what makes it most stressful?
The work, I'm not doing what I could do. I'm not using all my talents. I'm not impacting the world of homeless kids the way I want to and the way I could, because I have a pedestrian job. Pedestrian in the sense that it's not pushing the system. It's just kind of walking around in the trenches. If I could, I would change to that job.
What
tomorrow.
would the job be?
Oh, to run a public education campaign, which I do have. It's in dormancy right now. It's kind of like hibernating. Because I had to go get a job to make some money.
Gotcha.
Because I
Always
like
gotta
to
make
eat.
that money.
I like to eat regular.
Who doesn't
as
want
you
to
can
make
tell.
money at this table? Everybody wants to make
Right.
money. Right.
Yeah, and so it's basically trying to promote the notion that we could take care of this problem. We can solve the problem of having homeless kids. We can solve that problem.
Gotcha.
Most people don't believe it, and a lot of people in the system don't believe it. And so, if we could present it right, and I'd love things to go viral and do all the social media stuff, and I'd need a personal assistant for that, and all those kind of things.
Got you.
So,
you got to pass the question along.
all right.
Who would you pass the question to?
I think I'll go for Chris.
Okay, Chris. What life change would you most like to make for your health?
That's such for me personally, and I don't want this to sound cheesy, and I feel like it might be. I think it'll be spiritual health. I think a lot of us, society in general, don't really have a beacon for what our morals should be, our standards should be. And not saying that I know that, I don't know, but I think for me, there are a lot of things I would have solved already if I knew spiritually and not physically, not even mentally, just a thing where my body was like, oh no, this is the right thing to do, the right choice to make. When I first worked as a producer for CBS, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to talk to people. I want to get to know people. I want to give people information. But after literally a year within it, I was like, this is not what I want to do. I want to give people information, but I want them to be afraid of the information. I want them to be worried about whatever the information is going to be. I want it, whether it's good news or bad news, for them to have a positive outlook on it, or at least a positive impact when I give it to them. So for me, it was more spiritual than anything else. I was like, oh no, I know what I want to do, and it took me a while to figure out how I could possibly do it. And I'm still figuring it out now to this day. Like, I'm trying to get into politics, but I think the best way to do it is by doing stand-up comedy, by humor, by making people laugh. I think other people can do it through other ways, fear mongering or other, but that's not my calling. So I would say for me, especially, it's definitely spiritual health, spiritual growth.
Thank you, gentlemen, for such a fruitful conversation, and thank you for taking part, and thank you, audience, for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the Red Shark Entertainment's YouTube channel, where you can view more episodes like this. See you soon.